Hello, everyone. Good morning. So I take this moment to, just express and put out there that today my mind, is looking into the screen and being quick to find imperfection and stuff like that. And it makes me question, like, what is perfection? So I came here with the intention of sharing the 3 questions that changed my direction, that took me off the stage and into a spirit-led life, which potentially may take me to a stage again. But now the purpose of it is so different. So I wanted to share that, but as soon as I turned on the video, I'm like, oh man, okay, and it's just like, isn't that crazy how our mind just goes there? Our mind takes us to, like, to criticize, to judge, to just not accept what is. It's like this consistent desire to not accept what's here, whether it's how I look or how this person spoke to me or how they look, right? Or how I'm feeling today. In one way or another, it's just like we are doing whatever we can to resist what is here. And what is truly here is my heart wanting to show up for you. Sorry, it's a beautiful little bird fly by, is me showing up for myself, right? Because I've spoken about this on other videos. So, okay, before I continue, I'm Estefania. Welcome here. This is a space of authenticity. I'm sharing what's on my heart. I'm getting away from editing and perfecting and doing things that I did for many years within the music industry. And I'm sharing my journey since the moment I've had my spiritual awakening. And so today specifically, I want to share, the questions that helped me kind of shift everything in my perspective about what am I doing, like about my life, about where I was headed, about what I really wanted. And so it kind of like put everything back into perspective, and it created like a switch, It was like something just like when you have like a access key and it just clicked, and those questions led to that click. And so I want to share them with you because I did share so there's a video where I'm sharing the first part of why I left the stage to follow the spirit. Yeah. And I thought it would be great. I have a testimony one as well, but I thought it would be even more helpful to get into the details as to what I did specifically. And so I want to go into the questions here today. What were the questions that came up for me? And when I was in the time of like, I felt like a hamster in a wheel. I felt like I was just in the industry to prove myself to the world and to wait for the world's approval of my music, of my looks, of me ultimately, because that's what I was. That's what I was doing. That was literally what everybody knew me as and what I knew myself as. Like I saw myself through the world's eyes, right? Or how we see ourselves is the eyes that we give to the world. It's like they're both intertwined. And so I got to a place, thankfully, and I go into the details of how I got to that place. But I won't, in the video that I just mentioned, why I left the stage to follow the spirit. But the questions, what are the questions that can change, that if we take the time to really dive deep, what they can ultimately, not what, they can ultimately realign us with that which we really want, with that which will bring us ultimate happiness, with that which we may be avoiding but then need to face and heal so that we can get to the things that truly make us happy. And so this video is going to be a short one today, but I feel to go in to these questions. And the first question I asked myself is, what do I really want? What do you really want? See, because what we do is that we think we want the relationship. We think we want the house. We think we want the job, the promotion, right? Even in a spiritual sense, we think we want to go to that certain place where this community is. We think we want to like, I want to put all the possible context, because sometimes we separate the spiritual from the worldly, in other words, like the spiritual path. But even on the spiritual path, we can think we want things and that are in the form. And when I say the form, I mean like, like a body is a form, a person, a situation, something outside of us. But really what we want ultimately is in our mind. It's a state of being that we're looking for. And we think that that thing, that relationship, that community, that marriage, that promotion, that job, that career, that fame, whatever it is, that is ultimately going to give it to us. But that's what we think. So we go for the thing when what we're actually looking for is what's behind the thing. It's what we think we'll get when we get the thing. And so that's why the question, what do I really want? Ultimately, right? What do I yearn for? What do I ultimately want? What do I yearn for? And you're going to get to answers. That question is going to lead you to answers like peace, happiness, fulfillment, abundance. So I invite you to take out a journal, take out a piece of paper and pen, and just go there. What do I really want? And if goals, like actual things come to mind, write it all down, let it all come out. But notice how we think that there's a certain thing or a situation, a person, such and such, that's going to give us, that's going to give us, right, happiness or whatever it is. But let your pen, let your mind go a little deeper with the question, what do I ultimately want? That doesn't matter how it looks. What do I ultimately want? So yeah, pause the video, take a moment, and then come back. And so that was a huge question. Then my second question, and this was very important and very vital in my path, was to ask myself, who is God? Second question, who is God? Or what is God? Different from what the world has told me God is. Not what, all the teachings, the institutions, what they've taught me about God. No. Letting all of that go. And the reason I came to this question is because I had a resistance to the word God. Because of all the heaviness that the word God and the past concepts that are attached to, right? The history of the word God, we carry the past concepts with it. And I didn't know this then, but I knew that I had enough internal resistance in me, and that when I stopped my career and I took a break, it was a perfect time to then ask, who is God? What is God? Yeah? Like, is it even real? Like, what is it? And not what is it to other people, but what is God in relationship to me and to the world? Like, that was a prayer, a deep question. So I invite you to that same page or journal, write down the question, what is God? Who is God? And let yourself write what comes to heart. Yeah, even if it's bad things, quote unquote, negative things, past concepts, what God, it may even bring resistance, past trauma in relationship to God. So who is God? What is God is helpful because as we write about it, we're going to see all the beliefs we have about God. And then this question leads us to a deeper desire to experience God, to experience what God truly is, who God truly is, taking away all the boxes. Take away the institution, take away the Catholic Church, take away the Christian Church, take away your upbringing. Just now. Who is God now? Yeah, maybe we could add that, right? And then say, who is God now? And see if you can answer that question. And if you can't, that's okay. You don't need to be able to, but it starts to open up a space, a willingness to be curious and to be led towards the answer of those questions. So that would be the second question. And these questions are all questions that open up a beginning to then take action. Yeah. The actions I took are on the other video that I personally took, but each one of us is different. Sorry, I'm trying to just make sure this doesn't keep falling. And then the last question that I asked myself is, who am I? Because I stopped doing my music. I knew that it wasn't bringing me fulfillment. I knew that I was so attached to my identity. I knew that I had to take a break in some capacity. And I took a full break, stopped my socials, all of it. That was from 2020. So 2021 all the way to 2022. And in that time, it was like, who am I? If I am not that musician, if I am not that musical artist, the singer, the writer, who am I? And this is a deep, deep question, especially when we've known ourselves to be what our career has shown us, what everybody in the world has seen us as, right? And even the roles of I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a grandmother, right? These are the things that seem to give us identity. And yet, I invite you to question who you are, because you'll begin to notice that who you are is tied to things of the world. It's tied to relationships. It's tied to your career. It's tied to what you're capable of doing. And this question will take you deeper than that, because who you are is not what you do. Who you are is not your role in relationship to someone. And so those are the three questions that began to open up the valve, what I call the valve of the heart, because we have this fountain, this inner well, and yet it's blocked by all these beliefs that I was saying. We have all these beliefs, limiting concepts, past concepts, programming that are blockages upon something that we already hold. And that well begins to open up if we have the willingness to start looking at the thoughts that just come up when we ask ourselves those questions. So recap, right? What do I really want? Ultimately want? What is God now? So freeing ourselves from the past of all that. And the last one, who am I? Who am I? And then this can lead us to an ultimate, an ultimate place of discovering purpose. But I'll wait to a following video so that we can talk about that in a following video. Yeah. So I just have neighbors walking by. That's it. Oh, my phone's falling. I'll leave you with those 3 questions. Let me know what shows up for you. And yeah, I invite you to join me in those 3 questions. And these are questions that we could always keep bringing back. And if there's anything that comes up for you that you would like to share, please do. We're all on this journey together. We're all figuring this out as we move along. And we're all stepping forward into more authenticity, into the things that we love, into the things that fill our cup more, into being truer to whatever's showing up in the moment. So thank you for joining me here. And of course, subscribe, like, share, whatever touches your heart is the invitation here. We walk together, my friends. Love you so much, my spirit familia, my YouTube familia. Talk soon.